Donald Trump, during his off time, witnessed Vladimir Putin use lame excuses to invade in a murderous invasion in Ukraine. Watched him annex Crimea, given nonsense reasons about cultural cohesion, and they all speak Russian, so it's Russia. And Donald Trump now is using these same arguments to make a justification for imperialism and expansionism of Panama, Greenland. All this talk about making Canada the 51st state, as though the people of Canada are going to want to live under our immoral healthcare system. As though if Canada is a state, it wouldn't be 2 more Democratic senators and a slew of Democratic members of Congress. It's an idiot plan that's not going to happen, but Donald Trump is trying to create a distraction with the Canada thing as he land grabs and expands into Panama and Greenland. He's hoping people don't really care about Panama or Greenland, but they really care about Canada, so that's the distraction. How he would do this is anybody's question. Why he would do this is anybody's question. He would have to use the military, no doubt. It wouldn't take just economic pressure or economic force, as he says in one of these clips I'm getting ready to play. But the question of how would you do this? Are you ruling out the military? Is this part of the plan? And Donald Trump says during his meandering, insane, we're back here with these nonsense, ridiculous, embarrassing, just him being a knuckle on full display for over an hour. We're back to that. Thanks, Trump voters. You fucking idiots. Thank you. Here he is, not ruling out military intervention to take the Panama Canal that's not ours. Watch this.
Can you assure the world that as you try to get control of these areas, you are not going to use military or economic coercion?
No.
And can you tell us a little bit about what your plan is? Are you going to negotiate a new treaty? Are you going to ask the Canadians to hold a vote? What is the strategy?
Yeah, I can't assure you, you're talking about Panama and Greenland. No, I can't assure you on either of those two. But I can say this, we need them for economic security. The Panama Canal was built for our military. I'm not going to commit to that now. It might be that you'll have to do something. Look, the Panama Canal is vital to our country. It's being operated by China. China. And we gave the Panama Canal to Panama. We didn't give it to China.
It might be that you'll have to do something. It might be that you'll have to do something. This was not an idea until Trump said it. It was not a priority until Trump said it. It was not even a flash, a glint in the eye of someone about, let's invade Panama. Let's take Panama. How about Greenland? Now, as we're going to get to, Republicans are tripping all over themselves to back this play. No one had the idea. No one forwarded this idea in Congress. But now, it's the best idea. It's a priority. It's a national priority because the Adderall-brained moron, the goof of an incoming president, finds it a priority. They doubled down, these reporters asking about it. Well, you didn't rule out the military. Let's really drill down on this. And they continued with this line of questioning. Here was his off-the-rails response.
Back on Greenland, your position is clear, but have you directed your staff to take specific actions to draw plans? And can you elaborate again? You didn't rule out military coercion.
Well, we need Greenland for national security purposes. I've been told that for a long time, long before I even ran. I mean, people have been talking about it for a long time. You have approximately 45,000 people there. People really don't even know if Denmark has any legal right to it. But if they do, they should give it up because we need it for national security. That's for the free world. I'm talking about protecting the free world. You look at, you don't even need binoculars. You look outside, you have China ships all over the place. You have Russian ships all over the place. We're not letting that happen. We're not letting it happen.
That right there is a Putin-esque explanation, a Putin-esque justification for what could be done, what might be done, what he proposes be done. People don't even know if Denmark has a legal right to it. But if they do, they should give it up. These are very similar, certainly adjacent arguments to the ones used by the dictator in Russia who invaded and has made a habit, a course of action, the standard operating procedure of rules of engagement to bomb hospitals, murdering pregnant women. Vladimir Putin in Ukraine. Is this what's to come? Is this who we are as a country? Again, never was a thought until Donald Trump came on the scene with this nonsense over the course of the last couple of weeks. I have another clip I was going to play where he says, no, not military for Canada, but economic force. But I think that's the distraction, because that's obviously not something that's going to happen. One, Canadians are, the percentages of decent people dwarf that we enjoy in the United States and Canada. They are good-hearted, they are empathetic, largely. I mean, you've got your faction of dipshits in Canada, certainly. There's racists in Canada, absolutely. You've got your white supremacy element, the Conservative Party, Pierre, the clown show, Polyev, the party that invites Tucker Carlson to speak at their conferences. They would love to have the kind of backup in their country to harm gay rights, to harm women's rights. They would love it. It just doesn't fly because of the culture in Canada. But it's a distraction, the Canada thing. What's not a distraction is the Panama thing, is the Greenland thing. This is something that they're really looking to do, to expand the borders of the United States, to add territory. Likely, again, wouldn't be states. They would be territories where they wouldn't get to add a senator. I mean, I don't have a senator. I don't have a vote in Congress living in Washington, D.C. They would make it one of these situations. Puerto Rico doesn't have a congressperson or a couple of senators. They don't have that. American Samoa, they don't have a senator or a congressperson. The American Virgin Islands, they don't have that. All of the disparate colonies of the United States, and that's what they are. We are still colonizers as a nation. But nobody thought of this until now. Tommy Tuberville, wasn't on his list of priorities as a senator. All these other idiots. I'm going to start with this B-team moron from Fox News sitting in for Jeanine Pirro in the Jeanine Pirro seat, really replicating the idiocy that you would hear come from Jeanine Pirro. Here she is explaining that, there's precedents for this. Harry Truman tried to buy Greenland in 1867. Decades before Harry Truman's birth, he tried to buy Greenland. Watch this.
It actually is not the first time this has happened. They're calling the president-elect bananas and crazy for coming up with this idea. But by the way, this is not the first time that America's tried to buy Greenland. Back in 1867, Democratic President Harry Truman tried to buy Greenland for $100 million, which would be about a bill in our day and age, $1 billion. Didn't happen. Obviously, still very important. And as you mentioned, Jesse, has a lot of minerals. Very important for our country. I think the president may be onto something.
I guess whatever it takes, right? Listen, it's not just Fox News morons, though. Listen to this from Tommy Tuberville, who's the most military man the world has ever known. The senator from Alabama, who doesn't even live in Alabama, his primary residence is in Florida, so explain that one to me. Here he is explaining why we have to take the Panama Canal back, why it's imperative to our national security, because if we go to war with China, I thought Donald Trump was going to be the administration to end all war. He's the anti-war president, but apparently we need to prepare so much that we need to invade another country in order to prevent war.
We've got to take the Panama Canal back. We've got to do something, because if we were to happen to go to war with China over Taiwan and they were to shut the Panama Canal down, we'd have to go 8,000 to 10,000 miles longer just to get things back to the war zone if we had to go from the East Coast to China.
Wow.
Tommy Tuberville is a bandwagon butthole. That's what he is. He's just coattailing Donald Trump's agenda, no matter how ridiculous, no matter how nonsensical, no matter how much chaos it will bring to the country and by extension to the world. And the rest of the Republican Party is the same. They don't care. They have bent the knee to the cult leader. No matter anything he says, they're going to back his play. There is nothing he can do to dissuade them from their worshipful, just sycophancy. It's gross. It's dangerous to the United States. He is diminishing our station on a global stage and ceding power to our enemies. If you think that we're going to come out on top with this, listen, if you have multiple unhinged countries, you're going to prefer the predictable in the unhinged, in the dangerous. So you can predict how to move and how to navigate. If you have an unhinged country, a dangerous country that is unpredictable, you're going to back from that because you can't predict how to react, how to act, how to maintain. We are the unpredictable force with Donald Trump at the helm. China is not. They're predictable. You know how they're going to do. You know how Xi Jinping is going to respond. Donald Trump, you don't. Because he's a fucking child. Because he's a moron. Because he is not intelligent. He has a third grade reading level, maybe. Republicans don't care. I guess to them, he's a graduate level intellect with his third grade level understanding of world history, American history, the presidency, the Constitution, the thing he swore an oath to. What do you think? Comment below. That would be great. You can call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, as always, daily@dollemore.com. I'd love to hear from you. This is a nightmare, and you should be prepared for more chaos. Please consider supporting this work. You can click the join button below, become a channel member right here on YouTube for $2 a month. You can also go over to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. That would be great. All that goes a long way to supporting this program. You can also go to Dollemore.com, check out the new merch store with new merch, new and improved. I sound like the ShamWow guy or the OxyClean guy selling crap, right? Anyway, we'll get through this. We won't come out unscathed or unbruised, but we will come through it. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.